Rebecca here and welcome to another video. In today's video I am bringing you my TBR for the season of Stephen King, which I don't know why I said like that or why I did that, because I'll probably not put the names or the words up here because I am silly and forget things like that. So anyway, this is just the TBR video for my season of Stephen King, which, if you did not know, starts on June the 1st, which is soon, depending on when I upload this video and schedule it and things like that. I will leave the link to the announcement video down below, but basically all it is it's running from June the 1st to October the 1st, and you just read Stephen King. Now, I've only really read one Stephen King book, which just happens to be in my lap, and that is Cell. I really enjoyed this book, and I've left a review for it on my blog. It was the first ever review for my blog, and I think I left a video as well, so I'll leave a link down below of those two. I really enjoyed it, and I might even do a reread of this during the readathon, just to sort of get me back into the swing of things if I am going into a slump. But yeah, that will be the first one, and this readathon is essentially just to get me more into reading Stephen King, getting to know Stephen King's works a little bit better, because obviously he is a mega amazing writer. He's an amazing author. He just rattles out books like there's no tomorrow, and they all seem to be really good. And I know that certain people Vanessa, have read some of his books and adored them, such as The Stand. She mentioned The Stand in her April wrap up, and I was just like, holy crap, I need to read that. And there's a couple of books, other ones that aren't on my pile, which is just down here. There's a couple of other books that aren't on my pile that I do want to get to, so if I do manage to pick them up, then I will add them to the list. But ultimately, there's no real pressure in this. It's just a TBR for the season of Stephen King. I did explain why it was season and not summer in my other video, and yeah, it's going to be a fun little challenge. It's nothing serious. It's not to add any pressure onto me, because the last thing I want to do is add pressure onto myself. So let's see what I've got. So, like I already mentioned, I have Cell by Stephen King. This is basically about the world catches a virus through their mobile phones at the same time, on the same day, wherever you are in the world. So it was 3 PM, the pulse occurred, and this basically sent everyone in America at that time who was in that time zone, or at that time anywhere around the world. So if it was 3 PM in America, it would be like 11 PM here or something like that. It basically sent them into a zombie-like frenzy, which was quite interesting to read. I really enjoyed it, and that one was like over 450 pages long, so I might reread this one if I'm feeling a bit slumpish. The next one I have is one of the first biggies, and that is Black House by Peter King and Peter Straub. Now, this is technically not just Stephen King, but I don't care. It's a biggie. It's written by Stephen King and has 800 pages. This one is about a little boy who comes across a crow that calls his name. Yeah. And gets dragged into the shadows. Ooh. Right, yes. This is basically like a mystery slash crime horror epic. It's about a boy who is abandoned by his friends as he's riding his bike through the town, and he comes across a crow that is coming towards him on the sidewalk, and it calls his name, and then he gets dragged into the bushes. There is a serial killer in the town where he lives, and people believe he has become the next victim. So this could be quite interesting. This next one I have is the newest acquirement to my pile of Stephen King books, and that is the Revival by Stephen King. And I picked this one up when I was with Vanessa over at Wondernest. We went out for the day, and I did a vlog, so I'll leave the vlog link down below, where I lost her in the bookshop. But anyway, this one is set in the 60s. The character is called Jamie, and it's set in the 60s when he is a small boy and he's playing with his toy soldiers, and he sees the new minister Charles Jacobs. They form a deep bond based on fascination with electricity, essentially. Their paths then cross years later, and ooh, seems quite interesting. As I'm learning with Stephen King, his synopses are quite vague, in the sense of you want to know more. That's why they're so vague, and it's like wanting you to pick it up and read it like now. I really need to read it like now. So yeah, that's another one. This one might actually go on holiday with me because it is one of the shorter ones that I own. So yeah, that could be interesting. The next one I have is matching in my set with Cell, and that is The Shining, obviously by Stephen King. I've never read it, I've never seen the film, I don't really know what it's about because I've kind of avoided it, but it sounds quite creepy, and I think I'm already regretting it. Danny is only 5 years old, but in the world of Mr. Halloran, he is a shiner, a glow of psychic voltage. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, okay. This sounds like a really scary Doctor Who. Like, oh god. Oh no. Oh no. I already regret this so much. It sounds interesting, but it sounds terrifying. Never mind. Hopefully it isn't as terrifying as I am imagining it to be, and it's just my imagination running wild. But obviously Stephen King is an epic horror slash fantasy slash crime writer, so it's probably just as terrifying as I'm imagining. Okay, so the next one I have here also matches my little set, and that is Duma Key by Stephen King. Again, obviously, because it's the season of Stephen King. This one is about a man who moves to Duma Key, which is an island, and it's supposed to be a remote island, so very little to no life comes in and out, is passing or is living there, etc, etc. So he goes there to escape his past and doesn't expect to find much there. However, that is not the case. He takes up the hobby of artistry, begins to paint basically. He starts to become a painter. As he paints, the island's secrets begin to stir, secrets of children lost in the undertow of a ghost ship riding the distant horizon, and a family's buried past reaching long hands into the present. This sounds really, really interesting. It doesn't sound as terrifying, although the bloodiness of the dripping island is quite terrifying. Yeah, each and every book that I've picked up so far is different and exciting in their own way, and yet all so terrifying. So hopefully I can get to this one as well. Again, it's a bit chunky. It currently stands like it's going to change. It stands at 689 pages. That's as long as a Harry Potter book, and I read that Harry Potter book in like 4 days. So really, I could read this in 4 days, but I could be terrified and not pick it up ever. We'll just have to wait and see. Right, this next one is the next book I picked up after Cell, and it is Just After Sunset. It sounds quite interesting actually. It's about a woman who, okay, I'm really rubbish describing these books, so basically I'll just read the back. Just after sunset, as darkness grips the imagination, is the time when you feel the unexpected creep into the everyday. As familiar journeys take a different turn, ordinary objects assume extraordinary powers. Powers. A blind intruder visits a dying man and saves his life with a kiss. A woman receives a phone call from her husband, her late husband. In the emotional aftermath of her baby's sudden death, Emily starts running and running. Her curiosity leads her right into the hands of a murderer, and soon her legs are her only hope for survival. Enter a world of masterful suspense, dark comedy and thrilling twists which will keep you riveted from the first page. Enter the world of #1 bestseller Stephen King. So this sounds like it's a set of, it might be a set of short stories, which sounds quite interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this one as well. It is another chunky one, but it comes in at like over 500 pages. But hopefully I'll fly through it, especially if they're all short stories. And finally, this is the one that I've been looking forward to for absolutely ages and didn't have the guts to pick up until only a couple of weeks ago, and that is 11/22/63. And this is, oh, it sounds so good. It's currently on Sky or on Fox. I think it's Fox, and it's got Dave Franco in it, or his brother. I think it's definitely Dave Franco, and he's supposed to be really, really good in the role, because I was quite dubious when I found out that Dave Franco was going to play the main character of this book, because that is a lot of hype to live up to. Stephen King is an amazing author. How are you going to live up to like his main characters? But anyway, this is about a man named Jake who finds out about this way you can travel back in time, and he goes on a mission to prevent the Kennedy assassinations. However, obviously he has to leave everything behind and start afresh in 63, probably earlier actually. And from the adverts I've seen for the TV programme, he encounters quite a few obstacles along the way, including fires and gunshots and love. So this one is a massive book as well. It comes in at over 700 pages again, but I am excited to get to it, and hopefully I will enjoy it, and I might do this at the start of the readathon or in the summer months where we have 6 weeks holidays over here, because I don't think I'll be working that much, and I'll have a couple of days free extra a week. So hopefully this will live up to my really high expectations. So yeah, that is it. I also have Mr. Mercedes on my Kindle, but I'm not going to show you that because it's in the cloud and I'm going to read that on holiday. So yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books to get through between the 1st of June and the 1st of October, which shouldn't really be a problem, but then again, it is a massive pile and they are quite thick. But if you think about it, I've already read Cell, so if I don't read that, that's only 6, so it's not too bad. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Let me know down below if you're joining in and what you're planning on reading through the readathon. I am very, very excited to start it. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you all soon with another video. Bye!